TheorySabers.com.
If the Mando movie doesn't hit, where to next?
Dawn of the Jedi.
That's an unfortunate thing, because if it doesn't hit, I mean, how many times it's just at this point they're just losing more and more loyalists who have been riding out with them. And I've said this a million times that if they don't change course, they're eventually going to alienate all of the Star Wars fans that came with George, and they're going to create their new Star Wars base, which is going to be totally different than what George intended and George wanted, and the story is going to attract different people, and the story is going to be very, it's going to be Acolyte. We're going to be, junk like that. So,
how long can they really do that, though? How many $250 million projects can they really send out to die?
Well, what you're seeing is a transition right now. It's a transition of loyalists on the way out, and then new people on the way in.
You think it's only going to get worse?
Yeah, it could. Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know how it could get worse than the Acolyte.
It could. The way I see it going is either they really wake the fuck up and they start to make some stuff that, George wanted, which is the true heart of Star Wars, I think. Some actual good stories, with good characters and about the Force and about Jedi and, family values and drama and all this and that, and character progression and failures and whatever. Or they keep going down the path they have, which is, the Acolyte path, the Leslie Headland path, the path of not Star Wars, the path of just absolute bullshit, horrible stories, and politics, and they'll just alienate the audience and create a new audience of their own who, frankly, I would argue, clearly aren't enough. They're not watching the Acolyte enough to make a second season. They're not buying the merchandise, not buying the products. They just kind of virtue signal online. They just sit and they tweet. They don't actually really watch the shows, or they don't actually really buy the products or spend the money or make the effort or live and breathe the franchise. They just kind of virtue signal and sit there and be like, oh yeah, the mob's going on this. Okay, I'm part of that. Oh, we're now onto this thing. Okay, I'm going to go for that. So they're going to get a whole bunch of like online loud people that will seem like they really love Star Wars, but they're going to create a massive void of people that they actually really needed, that created this company to be worth $4 billion in the first place. And they're going to see that. And they're seeing that now. And that's, that's why we're getting proof of Acolyte season 2 not happening. That's why we're starting to see, lots of blowback in the fandom over the last years. And they'll just keep getting that.
I agree. This is a pre-existing property that was purchased. It's not a property that was designed and created by Disney. It was a property designed and created by George Lucas, who fleshed it out. And while you were talking, I was trying to think, what is the Acolyte trying to teach us as a story? And I don't know. I truly struggle to grasp at what sort of message the Acolyte is trying to tell us.
How Harvey Weinstein's assistant can come in and shit on everything that George made, and then try and lecture us and say if we don't like it, we're racist.